At Stray's Tutoring? Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We'll be identifying the parts of the placenta. I dropped the previous video where I went over why the placenta is understudied, and I promised you guys that I would make a video like this, so I'm holding up to my promise. I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time with that long introduction like those other guys do, so let's jump right into it. So what exactly is the placenta? So if I blow up this image here, the placenta is a vital organ that develops during pregnancy. And what it does is it facilitates the exchange of nutrients, gases, waste between the mother and the fetus. So you can see here, it's this sac-like thing that you see right at the bottom of the fetus. And then you have your umbilical cord here. And of course you have the big old baby, fetus. And the placenta is so important in the development of the fetus. So what are some of its functions? Well, first and foremost, we have nutrient and gas exchange. So the placenta facilitates the transfer of essential nutrients from maternal blood to the fetus. So what are some of these nutrients? Well, you have glucose, you have amino acids, AAs, you have fatty acids, and then you have vitamins and minerals. So all of this is done through active and passive mechanisms, the passive active transports, and through the placenta's membrane. So this is important, nutrient exchange. There has to be an exchange of nutrients, right? Then we have the gas exchange. So the placenta acts as the fetus's respiratory system. Very interesting stuff here. Yes, as the respiratory system. So oxygen from the mother's blood diffuses into the fetal blood, while carbon dioxide from the fetal blood diffuses into the maternal blood through the intervillous space. And I'll kind of have a picture here so you guys can kind of visually see it and you guys aren't too confused. Next, we have hormone production. Wow, the placenta does this too. It does almost everything. It is one of the most important organs. Again, understudied because it's a temporary organ, but it is important in fetal development. It's crazy, guys. So hormone production. So the placenta functions as a endocrine organ. So it produces several hormones. Just to kind of name a few, if you guys see here, you have HCG, you have progesterone, you have estrogen, and there's others like relaxin, which helps soften the cervix and prepare the body for labor. And I'll have a list somewhere up here for you guys. So again, like all of these are important. What happens if, there's a defect in the placenta and, it's not able to produce the relaxin? Then it's going to be very hard to prepare that mother for labor, and her cervix may not be softening how it's supposed to. So again, the placenta is here for nutrient and gas exchange, hormone productions, which you guys will see up here. And then lastly, we have immune protection. So the placenta provides this sort of passive immunity to the fetus. So the placenta allows the transfer of maternal antibodies, immunoglobulin, and then IgG, to the fetus, providing some temporary protection against infections. It also acts as a barrier, right? So it prevents certain large molecules and infectious agents from crossing, right? However, there are some harmful substances that can still pass through. That's why you should not drink while you're pregnant, which is alcohol, drugs, and certain viruses. So that's why stay away from those drugs, stay away from the alcohol while you're pregnant, because yeah, sure, the placenta can protect it through a barrier, but these substances like alcohol and drugs say, I don't care, I'm going right past that barrier. So please, guys, be careful. let's go into the parts of the placenta. You see, I'm promising you guys, I'm not beating around the bush with you guys. So now if we go into the parts of the placenta, it's broken up into two. So you have the maternal side and then you have the fetal side. Maternal side is basically, think of this like a watermelon or something. Like on this side is the maternal, and then this side where the umbilical cord is, that is the fetal, because, right, that's where everything is going, to the fetus, right? So if you see this picture here, this would be maternal. And then this side here would be the fetal. Make sense? All right, doesn't make dollars, but all right, not so bad. But I hope you guys kind of see the idea here where it's broken down. And then, of course, you have the intervillous space, which is right in the middle. So first we start with the first part that we identify is the amnion. And of course, there's different schematics. There's different versions of the placenta drawn out, but we're going to focus on some of them, not undermining the other parts, some of the main parts that you guys will hear. First, we have the amnion. This is the innermost membrane that lines the fetal side of the placenta, as you guys see here. And its function, it forms the amniotic sac, which contains amniotic fluid, and it provides a cushion and protection for the fetus, which is very interesting because there's actually something called the amniotic egg, but I won't go into all of that. But just think of the amnion as the innermost membrane that lines the fetal side, and it forms the amniotic sac, and it kind of, provides a cushion and it protects the fetus. And feel free to pause the video if things are going too fast and play it back. And then you have the great umbilical cord. So this is a flexible rope-like structure that connects the fetus to the placenta. So again, if you guys see here, you can see this baby has its umbilical cord kind of tucked away. You can see it's like a rope. So it's like rope thing that connects the fetus, 1, to the placenta, 2. So the structure of this contains 2 umbilical arteries, if you guys see here. So you'll see it right here. And let me clear some of this out so you guys can see the 2 umbilical arteries that's there. And then its function is to carry deoxygenated blood and waste from the fetus to the placenta, while the vein delivers oxygenated, nutrient-rich blood from placenta to the fetus. So again, this kind of goes into our exchange between the fetus and the placenta. The umbilical cord plays an important role here in carrying that blood and waste from the fetus to the placenta. Next, we have the chorionic villi, or villus. Villus, singular, villi, plural. And these are these like microscopic finger-like projections that are embedded in the maternal tissue. And this helps facilitate the exchange of gases, nutrients, and waste products between maternal and fetal blood. Okay? So that is pretty much the fetal side. Again, we have the amnion, we have the umbilical cord and the umbilical arteries, and then we have the chorionic villi or villus. So now let's go into the maternal side. Okay, so if we go back to our image and we kind of see where the maternal side is, we're saying the maternal side is here, maternal, and then this side is the fetal. Okay, so now we're going into the maternal side. So first we start with the decidua. Okay, so if we go here for the decidua, this is kind of like modified layer of the maternal side that forms the maternal portion of the placenta. So it provides structure and support and nourishment to the placenta and the fetus. So think structural here. This is really what kind of forms that structure, support, and that foundation for the placenta. Then if we go into the intervillous space, which we have here. And you can kind of think of it as this whole space here. This is the space within the maternal side of the placenta, and it's filled with maternal blood. So this maternal blood bathes the chorionic villi. It bathes it like and then it soaks it up. And this allows for nutrient and gas exchange without direct mixing of fetal and maternal blood. So yes, maternal and fetal blood are not mixed. They're actually separate. So what this intervillous space is doing is it's filling the placenta with maternal blood, and this allows the chorionic villi to take up this nutrients and have gas exchange without mixing any blood. Next, we have the Nidabux layer, and this is like a fibrous or fibrinoid layer of material that's found in the interface between the maternal and then the decidua, right? So all this does is act as a boundary zone during placental attachment. It plays this kind of key role in preventing excessive invasion of the trophoblast into the uterine wall. Next, we have the endometrial veins and the endometrial arteries. So these veins, the endometrial veins, are part of the maternal vascular system. And what they do is they drain deoxygenated blood and waste from the intervillous spaces that we were talking about back into maternal circulation. Then you have the arteries, right? The endometrial arteries. So this is the ones that are here. And what they do is they connect the spiral arteries, which deliver blood into the intervillous space of the placenta. And this blood bathes the chorionic villi, allowing for exchange of oxygen and nutrients between maternal and fetal blood. And lastly, we have the anchoring villus. And this is a specialized structure of the placenta which it connects the fetal side of the placenta to the maternal side. And these villi are a type of chorionic villi. It's like it just physically attaches the placenta to the uterine wall. And then, of course, we have the placental burial, I keep saying burial, which this part is kind of like a semi-permeable membrane, and this separates the maternal and fetal blood in the placenta while selectively allowing certain substance in between them. So that kind of does it, guys. That is the parts of the placenta. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, got an idea of the different parts and the main takeaways, or at least the great way of memorizing this is separating it from the fetal from the maternal, and then memorizing all of the parts that are with the maternal side and then all of the parts with the fetal side. So just make sure you replay the video, listen to it 100 times until you guys get the concept, get the ideas, and really memorize what each part does. So if you guys enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.